I switched to all fourths tuning.
But why?
Because standard tuning has some problems, and they are huge problems. You see, normally guitar is tuned like this. And the interval between two consecutive strings is a perfect 4 interval, except the G and B string. Here the interval is a major third, and due to this irregularity of tuning, we have to learn different shapes of the same scales and chords to play them in different parts of the fretboards in different sets of strings. As you can see, taking 4 strings at a time, we can play the same C major chord in 3 different ways. So for 12 musical notes, we get 36 shapes for all major chords. In music, besides major chord, there are minor chords, diminished chords, augmented chords, and each chord type has their own inversions too. Similarly, you have to learn different shapes of the same scale to play them in different parts of the fretboard. And the number of shapes you have to learn in this tuning is huge, and it's really overwhelming for a lazy person like me. But in perfect 4 tuning, we tune the thinnest 2 string to C and F, which creates even perfect 4 interval between every consecutive 2 strings, and it makes the guitar a symmetrical instrument. So in this tuning, I can get by learning a single shape and can repeat them all over the fretboard without changing any shape. Also, it is much harder to visualize the fretboard because of the accidental major third in between G and B string. For example, this is what a major third interval looks like normally, but in G and B looks like this, which makes transcribing melodies and improvising much harder than it should be. And perfect 4 tuning is a perfect solution for all of these problems. So on a fine morning, I switched to this tuning, and tuning to it was simple, just tuning the thinnest 2 string of my guitar to B and E, because my guitar was tuned half step down. I think I'm gonna change too. Hold on, before you change, just to let you know, even though it solved many problems for me, it also created some. Problem number 1 is playing 6 string and 5 string bar chords are really hard in this tuning, and I was quite bummed about it. So I started to research on the internet if I could find a better way to play these chords, but those didn't convince me that much. But I think I solved this problem partially, because I've found a way to play the 6 string bar chords easily, and it looks like this. Basically what I did was take the G major shape of standard tuning and move the notes on the thinnest 2 string half step down, and added the major third interval on the 3rd string and the root on the 4th string. Now I can play the 6 string bar chords in this tuning, but 5th string bar chord is still a mystery to me. You can play it like this, but it's really hard to hold on for too long, and the minor version of this chord is much harder to play than the major one. Maybe in future I might be able to find a better way to play these chords, but for now, no 5 string bar chords. Problem number 2 is some of the open chords are really hard to play, and some of the chords doesn't work at all. For example, the E major chord, it stops functioning because of the lack of open B and E string. And third is the lack of tabs and tutorials dedicated to this tuning, as I use them mostly for learning my favorite songs. But I think it's good for me because it will reduce my dependence on tabs and tutorials and help me to train my ear better by forcing me to learn songs the hard way. Problem number 4 is some of the shapes in this tuning requires quite a bit of stretch. For example, this stretch while playing the minor arpeggio, and these chord shapes too. And you might get cramps if you hold them for too long. Problem number 5 is the biggest problem that I am facing, because in this tuning you can't play the guitar parts of most of the songs, especially those which contains the open B and E string. Problem number 5 is that during class I have to live transpose the shapes that my guitar teacher shows me, but this problem doesn't bother me that much. It takes quite a bit of effort and time. Keep that in mind if you're taking class. Also, there is a lack of learning material dedicated to this tuning, so this tuning is not suitable for beginners. But this problem doesn't bother me that much because I'm in that part of my learning where I can easily manipulate the learning materials of standard tuning and apply them to perfect 4 tuning. That summarizes my initial journey of perfect 4 tuning. If you didn't understand anything in this video, then you should check this video right here.